Welcome to my little camping spot in the living room. I've been watching people on Insta and on Facebook and stuff having little camping expeditions with their kids, either in the garden or in their own living rooms. I didn't want to feel like I was missing out. I used to love that as a kid, building dens and everything. I'm quite tempted to spend the night in here now. I'm really lucky to have an ace view out the window. I'll cut to it in a second. To the mountains. It almost feels like I am out there. It's windy today. The wind is whistling through my gaps in the windows, so it feels like I'm out and about. A bit of a chatty one today. I'm going to talk through the Mountain Leader Assessment Week. If you've done the training already, you'll have had a good chat about this on that training. But it's a long week, that, so you do forget certain things, and it's nice to have as much information as possible for these things, to feel like you've been pre-warned about it all, if you like. So go and grab yourself a tasty beverage of your desire, have a seat and enjoy the video. I've gone for a can of Coke today. Not the most fashionable thing to drink, is it? It's bad for you and all that, but everything in moderation is my take on it. I needed something refreshing. It's quite hot in my living room, sat in this tent. So that'll keep me going for a few minutes while I chat to you lot. So this is my take on the Mountain Leader Assessment Week. My company, JB Mountain Skills, are ML providers. So, we run a load of these, so I like to think I'm pretty experienced with it all. Most of us providers, of which there's plenty, and so some really flipping good ones out there as well. We do things quite similarly, all right? There'll be little differences between us all, but the fundamental themes are the same. We try and keep it, myself and anyone working for me, like as chilled as possible, by hopefully creating a nice relaxed atmosphere. We feel it gives you the best chance to show off your skills, and that's important. I don't think you need any stress from me or anyone else. You put enough pressure on yourself, don't you? We've all had that assessment experience. Myself and anyone working for me on these assessments will have at least done their ML training and assessment, their winter mountain leader training and assessment. That's up to 4. And then what's now called the Mountaineering and Climbing Instructor Award training and assessment. So we've been through it. We know what it's like. So we do have that empathy. So we try really hard. I say that, but actually it's not hard to do, because it's just how we are normally. We're nice, relaxed people. So, we try and create that atmosphere. You'll get that. That's the theme of the week. I will come onto that at various different points, and you'll get bored of me saying that. But I will keep saying it regardless, because I think it's mega important. Your assessment week is 5 days long, the assessment, but actually it starts before that, because you've done your training, a 6 week, only if you've done the extreme version, a 6-day training course, followed by a consolidation period. And that's where you guys have hopefully gone and got loads of experience from loads of different areas and refined all the stuff that you learnt on your Mountain Leader training course. You've got to have 40 quality mountain days. I'm not going to go into what a QMD is. It's on the mountain training website. It's in black and white. It tells you the criteria. There's loads of stuff on the internet about what a QMD is. Frankly, I'd ignore most of it. Just go to the mountain training website. If you are going to take advice off the internet, check that the person giving it is involved in mountain leader courses. I could rant about this for ages, but there's some right drivel on there. And sometimes you see people writing stuff as if they've worked on these courses their whole life, and they haven't even done their ML training. So I'm going to stop my rant there, because I could literally fill half an hour of video just ranting about stuff like that. Any half-decent provider, myself included, will be happy to answer any specific questions you have. It is not a problem. Send a message to whoever did your training, who's going to do your assessment, or just any decent provider, and they'll be happy to give you a bit of advice. But your first port of call, just check on the mountain training website. It's really good. It's really clear. The frequently asked questions bit answers most questions, funnily enough. So check it out. But that said, I am happy to answer anything. You know how much I like rabbiting on, you can tell from these videos. So fire away with any questions, whether that's in comments, email in a year, whatever it might be. Ask away. Happy to help. So in that consolidation period, you've got your 40 days. That's the minimum. You don't need 60, you don't need 120, you need 40. Yeah, the more the merrier. The more you've got, the more experience you're going to have, the easier you'll probably find that week. All right, so yeah, 40, great. If you've got more than 40, yeah, that's great too. 3 different areas, okay. One thing I hear sometimes is people say, oh, you can't pass your mountain leader assessment unless you've been to Scotland. It's rubbish. You can, you absolutely can. That said, it's a really good excuse to get up to Scotland. It's an amazing place. It's almost as good as North Wales. Yeah, not quite, but it's close. So get up there if you've not been before. Brilliant. And it's more experience. You probably find in Scotland you're more on the 1 to 40s or the 1 to 50s. Round here it's more on the 1 to 25. So just because of the scale of the mountains and stuff. So it gives you an opportunity to really mix up the practice and get some variety. So I do think variety is absolutely key to having a strong result on your mountain leader assessment. We look at your D-log before you arrive. Please make sure your D-log is as up to date as it can be. I can't judge that side of things well if you haven't got it in your D-log. We're not mind readers, we can only see what's there. So make sure you've got those days all highlighted in there. Log anything else, even if it's not a QMD, log it under the appropriate section. Hill days or just mountain days that weren't actually quality mountain days. It all goes. We do have a glance through it. I don't read it in loads of details, just don't have the time, but put a line or two about each day. And that'll help me. So, I just want to know anything interesting that happened in your general route. Don't need bearings or timings or pacing or anything like that, but just a general 1 or 2 line overview. That'll be really useful. Most assessors are the same on that. So we meet on my courses in Pete's Eats on a Monday morning, and we'll have a little chat, introduce ourselves, none of this cringy stuff, but just have a little chat to see where we're all from and what we're doing here and all that kind of stuff, and introduce myself as well. And then we'll have a little bit of a chat about the weather, and hopefully you guys are able to give me a good weather brief. We've got such good weather forecast these days from Met Office, MWIS, loads of other ones. But I'd like you to be able to relate it to the surface pressure charts as well. So find those on the Met Office website. Have a look at them. You'll have talked about this stuff on your training course. And I'd just like people to be able to relate that weather to, how many isobars are across the UK, what that means to the wind direction and the wind speed. Is it going to be warm? Are there any fronts come in? You get the idea. And then we'll come up with a bit of a plan for the day. And for me, day 1 it's a bit of a shakedown day. So it's not like super stressful. We don't go straight into hunting out tiny little re-entrants and such like. We'll start on some footpaths and go to some junctions and then some stream junctions. And by the end of the day, we probably are hitting some contour features. But it's not just nav, right? The ML scheme is far more than just navigation. It's a group leadership award. So when we're doing all this, you've got to be looking after the group as well, making sure we're all together and we're all having a nice time. So tell us about those bits of plants. Tell us about that geological feature. Whatever you can, some environmental knowledge in general is what we're after. Not expecting experts in every field, but just have a good general knowledge of the environment that we're working in. It's really important. So don't neglect that on your consolidation period and just share the knowledge. I'll learn stuff from it, I always do. I'll share some stuff as well, because an assessment is an extension of the training from my point of view. So I hope very much that you learn stuff on your assessment and we get you even better. Even if you pass, which you hopefully will, then I want you to be even better by the end of the assessment, right? Sort of logistically, we take it in turns to lead the legs. When I say we, I mean you lot, the people being assessed. There's up to 4 in a group, and one person will take the lead, get us to a point that the assessor has put on your map, and like I say, give us a nice time en route to that point. When you get to that point, this is a theme for the week, there is no rush. Take your time to have a little look around and make sure that you are on the spot you think you are. I tend personally to ignore the map first and just have a look around, get all the information from the land and then just relate it to the map. Otherwise I find it kind of clouds your judgment a bit. But there's no rush, so take a few minutes. Don't take like half an hour, but take a few minutes to just look around. The other people in the group, they may well not know where we have gone to. So part of their job is now to work out that. And that's the same thing. No rush, take your time, look around and then go, right, yep, Jez, we're here. Good. If you get it wrong, yeah, doesn't really matter that much. As long as it doesn't become a theme, you're all going to make a mistake on your assessment, I should imagine, but don't let it become a theme. So say you point it to the wrong spot and go, hey, Jez, we're here. And I just say, thanks very much. Yeah, crack on. If then on the next leg you realise that you were wrong on that leg, well, tell me, yeah? It's not quite as good as getting it right first time, but it's not far off. But try and get it right first time as much as you can, but you will make mistakes. And be okay with that. Just redeem yourself. I'll come on to more of those bits in a while. So we've gone out, we've had a nice day, done some good group management, you've educated us a bit, we've done some good map work. Get back to the cafe, have a little bit of a chat through the home paper that you will have been sent already. Be a bit of a Google paper. If you don't know the answer to the questions, you just look them up on the internet, and we just have an informal chat, and it gives me a chance to cover off things that might not otherwise come up during the course of the week. So it's very useful for me, and it brings up some good discussion points. So just a chilled out thing in the cafe for me. Day 2, probably a bit more weather chat on meeting in the cafe, and it is the steep ground day. So I've got like a rope in front of me here as a bit of a prompt. Yeah, there's some rope work stuff on that day, but it's far more than that. Actually, the harder part of that day is all the decision making, all the judgments, all the route finding, all the group management, all the shepherding, all the spotting, all the holding people's boots onto that hold so they don't slip off. Loads of good chat. Well, there's a lot more to it than the ropes, isn't there? But we do have to see some rope work as well. There's less nav on that day. It's more like, right, get us up to that point, and off you go, picking a good line through it all. At some point, though, you probably will need to use the rope. Well, I say probably, you definitely will need to use the rope. So make sure you've practiced all that. Don't forget, right, that it's not just the rope work bit itself, it's managing someone on and off it. So don't get someone tying into the rope while they're precariously balanced on the edge of that short, rocky step. Do it nice and well back from the edge and then get them to do their thing. I see that a little bit, really, on assessments. People doing really good setups but not using them appropriately. So do consider that. We'll be, on something like the North Ridge of Trivan on that day to take us into terrain that sometimes is a fraction beyond the ML scheme where we do need the rope. So you want to be kind of comfortable on that terrain. We don't need to be experts on it. We don't need to be superstar mountaineers or anything. But the more time you spend on rocky stuff, the easier it will be for you to pick appropriate lines and just be really chilled when you do get to a bit that needs the rope for your group. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm getting warm in this tent. So in your consolidation period, make sure you've got stuff like the North Ridge of Trivan, the Gribbon Ridge, all those kind of nice steady scrambles in your logbook. It'll just make your life easier and you'll have a nicer time. I love that day. There's not a lot of nav on that day, but very occasionally we'll stop and go, right, where are we? And everyone goes, oh, I don't really know because I haven't been paying attention. I've been thinking about other things. So you have to get the map out and you have to look around and work it out. If we're on the North Ridge of Trivan, there's not many places I'd actually do it, only a couple to be honest, because it's really hard otherwise, and I think bordering on being unfair. So I'll only do it in a couple of different spots. And you work it out, you take your time, you go, we're there. Yeah, we make our way on up, maybe we get to the summit, maybe we don't. If we do get onto the summit and we drop down the west side, for example, then the terrain becomes a bit easier. And maybe we do a bit of navigation on the way down. So don't think it's not going to be A to B kind of legs on the map. It might be, it could be anything, all right? So be prepared for it all, okay? Oh, that's that day done. You're almost halfway through the ML assessment already. Hopefully that day's gone well and we don't need to see anything with the rope again, because we'd rather not take the rope out on an assessment because it's more weight for you to carry and we don't like carrying unnecessary weight. Normally on the expedition part, I don't know if I said assessment or expedition then a minute ago, expedition part, we won't take the rope unless we have to. So we'll go to terrain like the Molwins or the Carnetho where we're not expecting to need a rope, so we'll leave it behind. But if you do need a chance to redeem yourself, then that's the opportunity, isn't it? So you might have to take the rope. It's not that big at the end of the day, you just have to toughen up and take it, deal with it. Because as with all these things, it's not like you do one error, that's it, the day's written off. Absolutely not. We don't make a decision on whether you've passed, deferred or failed till the end of day 5 when we're all finished. It's a holistic process, okay? It's a holistic assessment. So don't stress about these things. That's part of the deal, isn't it? It's seeing how you react to it if you do make a little error. Yeah? Expedition. You'll have had a little bit of homework for the Tuesday evening, which will have been coming up with a route for the 3-day expedition and coming up with a way of displaying that to us as the assessors as well. It's up to you how you do it. So I often get people to do that in a group, to be honest. It's pretty chilled out. and you come up with a plan. And sometimes we stick with the plan, sometimes we don't. But we'll go out, and it's a 3-day thing. So that's 2 evenings out, 2 nights out camping, isn't it? So we meet a little bit later on what would be the Wednesday for this 5-day course, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, have a chat about the weather, all that kind of stuff, any luxury items you might have brought in your rucksack, just general chit chat like that. If the weather's horrible, we chat for a bit longer, delaying tactics, so we don't have to get too wet out there, and then off we go. We tend to do the 1 to 50 or 1 to 40 on that day. Different assessors use different maps of those types. I'm happy for people to use a different scale, so we'd normally be on the 1 to 25 for the first 2 days, a different scale for the expedition part. So I'm happy with 1 to 40 or 1 to 50, whatever you want to use. And we go and we do that for the day, and we aim to do the same sort of thing, slightly longer legs probably on our journey. Still the same idea where one person is leading, the rest are following and having to relocate, and that's often the harder bit, isn't it, the relocating when you don't know where we're going. So make sure you practice that on your consolidation. Make sure you just stop every now and then and go, oh, right, where are we, and work it out. This is where like OS maps on your phone or View Ranger come into their own, because you can work out where you are, come up with 3 good justification points, for example, go, right, we're here. And then on your consolidation, if you're out on your own or with someone who's not really experienced, you can use your phone to check and go, oh, right, I was right, brilliant, as expected. Or you can go, not quite right there, why aren't I right? And you can work it out and reflect upon it. So they are really useful tools in your consolidation. After walking for the day, we'll get into the campsite somewhere around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Put up the tents and all that, and I'm just looking for people to be comfortable in that environment, not having dry bags blown off all over the place, sleeping bags rolling down the mountainside, all those bits and pieces that I've seen before. This should be just a nice easy part, because it's what we do, isn't it? We go hill walking and we go camping while camping, so just looking for you to get on with it, really. I just have a wander around after putting my tent up, a little chat, chill out, see what's going on, and then it's up to you what you do. You get a bit of food on, put your head down for a bit, have a bit of a power nap, because we will be doing some night navigation. All right, night navigation is to give us a chance to do some poor viz navigation. If the week has been horrible weather and you haven't been able to see much, you might not do that much night nav. You'll do some, you might not do very much. If the weather has been crystal clear so far during the assessment, then you might do a bit more to sort of make up for it. So we can really make sure you are good at that poor viz navigation. Brighter torch you've got, the better, make your life easier. Unless it's foggy, then it's the right pain, isn't it? It's like proper foggy and the torch just shines back at you. That can be a tricky one. But make sure you've practiced. Get out in poor visibility, get out at night. Don't just go out on those nice weather days during your consolidation, because then you'll struggle, won't you? Make sure you've practiced. These legs are 200, 300, 400, 500 meters, shorter legs, and I'm just looking for people to be really precise. Much harder to, interpret the landscape when you can't see much. So I'm just looking for real sort of bulletproof tactics, A to B or A to B to C, little dog legs and things. But just come up with tactics that are guaranteed to work, and then just do it. You've still got time, so still no rush. You can still get to your spot and take a couple of minutes, a few minutes, whatever, to work it out. Remember, you lot who aren't leading the leg, you've got to relocate, and that's going to be tricky, so just really concentrate. Yeah, you've still got to keep the group together and stuff, but I'm kind of more concentrating on the nav for this bit. So yeah, little tips like the leader goes off, or take a bearing on them, keep pacing everything, so the more information you've got, the easier it's going to be when you get there and suddenly it's like, right, we're here. Remember, they might get it wrong sometimes, they might not be where they thought they were. So just got to be really on it, really concentrate on that night nav. You'll be out for a few hours, something like that. Get a few legs each, and then that's it, you're done for the night. Get your head down. Sometimes we might not go out till 11 o'clock, if it's the middle of June, longest day and all that, it's going to be a late night, probably won't finish till maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Different times of the year, we can be out at like 6 o'clock, you're going to finish a lot earlier and have a lot more sleep. If I was picking my perfect assessment time, maybe it'd be like end of August, beginning of September, nice and warm, reasonably light, but not too late, something like that anyway. If you're going to have a strong performance on your ML, doesn't matter on the time of year, does it? Okay, so we're on to day 4. Crikey, we're nearly done. So day 2 of the expedition itself, walking by 9 o'clock, probably something like that. probably still on the second scale, the 1 to 50 or the 1 to 40, more of the same, more group management, more chat, longer legs again. Chance to redeem yourself. So maybe if earlier in the week you wanted 25,000, navigation hasn't been that good, maybe we swap to the 1 to 25,000 a little bit. You know, these things aren't fixed in stone, so do be prepared for things to just move a little bit. Keep telling us bits of information. You know, why have the hills got no trees on them, for example? Do you know the answer to that? If not, go and have a look, see if you can work it out. You know, what formed that feature? What glacial action formed that feature? We can't, as I say, be experts in every bit of the environment, but you know, bits and pieces from here, there, and everywhere. But don't forget, we're also just looking to have general chat. You could be out with all sorts of people when you're actually working as an ML, from a primary school kid to a politician, and anyone and everyone in between, absolutely all sorts of people. So you've just got to be able to have general chat about anything, whether that's football, whether it's X Factor, whether it's the UK's foreign policy, whatever. Just be able to be a chatty, approachable, nice person. I'm not sure that's the ML scheme's role to teach that. That's up to you. You don't have to have had any group experience in your D-log in your consolidation period, but it is useful because it just gets you used to dealing with people in that environment. When I say dealing, that sounds very formal. I mean, just being out and about with them and the sort of chat that goes down. And it'll be useful to you getting work, won't it, if you've got some work experience on your CV when you're trying to get work as an ML. Get into camp somewhere around the same sort of time, usually. More night nav? Well, maybe. It depends how well you did on the first night nav. If everyone smashed out the night nav and I've got no doubts and no one's got a need to redeem themselves, then we just won't go out on the second night. Just have a nice relaxed evening. Hopefully the weather's nice. We can sit around cooking, chatting, you know, all that kind of thing. If we do need to go out though, we'll go out. You know, so if one person needs to be sort of going out again, then we all go out again. And I don't say, oh, we're all going out because Mr. or Mrs. X just ruined it for us all. It's nothing like that. We just all go out and we will have a nice time and we will do some more navs. Great. Hopefully you'll smash it out on the second night. Head down, go to sleep. Final day, day 5. It's only half a day. Day 5, we'll be back in peak seats by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that. So hopefully you've been keeping well fueled up, you know, with plenty of energy. So you've picked good food and all that, so you're still firing on all cylinders because there's still a bit more to do. We have to walk out and get ourselves back to civilization. And that's about it, really. We get to the campsite, we get to the cafe, we have a debrief. Yeah. Hopefully we've done well and you get a pass. Doesn't mean you've been perfect. Yeah, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be generally, you know, good. If you've made a mistake, like I say, you probably will. Don't stress about it. Feedback is a constructive thing, right? So hopefully you'll have improved throughout the week anyway. But pass, well done. Most people pass, remember that, okay? Most people pass, especially people who've consolidated really well and put the effort in, which, like I say, is the vast majority of people. You could defer on stuff, okay? Maybe your rope work, just because the rope was there, your rope work wasn't up to scratch on the steep ground day, and you had a chance to redeem yourself on the expedition, it still wasn't quite there. So you get a bit of an action plan and you go away and practice and consolidate a bit more, and then you come back. Doesn't have to be to the same provider, can be to a different person, and you just show off those particular skills again. So normally a half day or a day, something like that. You can be deferred on stuff up to 2 days worth though, but it's not normally that much, but it could be, right? It could be your night nav wasn't quite there, so you just come back and you show off that one bit again, you do some more night nav. For me, normally sort of start late afternoon, so you get a bit of daylight nav just to ease into it, and you just do that, and then, you know, defer. It's not the end of the world. You come back, you pass it, pass. Your certificate says pass, great, well done. It doesn't say pass and one defer or anything like that. There's more information about how long you have to wait before a reassessment and time limit on reassessment. It's all on the mountain training website, so do have a look on there. Okay. You could fail. I don't think I've ever failed anyone on an ML, but you could, but it would be really unlikely. If you've got those 40 days and stuff, you are very, very unlikely to fail. Okay. So hopefully that's been of use. I've chatted through some sort of top tips as we've gone. I've got some old blogs on the website, so do check out the JB Mountain Skills website. We are providers for the award, obviously, so we'd love to see you on a training or an assessment. That'd be ace. But equally, just great to see people out and about. So if you've done your training with someone else, you've done your assessment with someone else, fine, you'll still come and say hello. I'm pretty friendly and approachable, so still come and have a chat if you ever see me in Pete's Eats or up on the hill itself. I'm just glad to see people involved with it all. It's ace, isn't it? And send me, if you've got questions, regardless of if you've done a course with me, just still send them to me. I'm happy to help as best I can. All right, find us on Facebook, find us on Insta, follow us on those. Thanks very much for watching all this. I know it was a long chatty one, so well done for making it to the end if you have done so. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the like button, it's all much appreciated. More videos coming up very soon.